60 duels, 0 losses, and a name that still clangs like steel on steel, Miyamoto Musashi. Yet Musashi's katana wasn't his sharpest weapon, not even close. The guy learned like he had rocket fuel for neurons, while everyone else in 17th century Japan spent decades perfecting the same kata, the same stances. He'd swallow whole arts in mere weeks. He wasn't just a swordsman, he was a master strategist, an artist, a philosopher. Today, we're yanking the engine apart to see how he did it. Spoiler alert, every single trick still works if you're trying to code an app, cook the perfect steak, or finally hablar español faster than your buddies. This isn't history, it's a blueprint for becoming a learning machine. Imagine the scene. It's 1604. At a dusty crossroads, 2 samurai are about to square up. One is Yoshioka Sijuro, the head of a prestigious sword fighting school in Kyoto, a man who has been swinging the blade since he could walk. His form is perfect, his reputation flawless. And the other, a 20-year-old Musashi. He's late, and he's not even carrying a real sword, just a heavy wooden stick he carved on his way to the fight. 5 seconds later, the so-called pro is tasting dirt, his arms shattered, wondering who spiked his sake this morning. Musashi, without a single victory grin, simply turns and strolls off, allegedly scribbling notes about the encounter. He wasn't there to gloat. He was there to learn. These quick, brutal autopsies, where he analyzed every misstep, every flicker of an eye, were his first cheat code to learning speed. And there where we start. Ready to nick it for yourself? Section 1. Keep your ego on a leash. Musashi wrote in his famous text, The Book of Five Rings, "Do not have preferences." It's a simple line with a massive implication. A more direct translation for our purpose: treat every belief like it owes you money and you're the auditor. Most learners baby their egos. They build a little shrine to what they think they know. Musashi took a sledgehammer to his. He treated his own assumptions as his greatest enemy. He would deliberately step into duels using an unconventional grip or a duller blade just to see what would crumple under pressure. He wasn't afraid of failure. He was obsessed with it. For him, every failure was a pound of pure, unadulterated data. He saw his own knowledge as a weapon that needed constant sharpening against the stone of reality. If a technique failed, he didn't blame the opponent. He dissected the technique. Here's the modern remix. The next time you practice guitar, record yourself. Then, put on headphones and listen to it like you're a rival, paid to find every single flaw. That cringe you feel? That's currency. That's the feeling of your ego getting out of the way so learning can happen. Doubt your chords, question your posture, and especially challenge that YouTube guru you follow religiously. Injecting a little bit of technical skepticism is like hitting the nitro button for your brain. It forces you to investigate the thing itself, not just your comfortable ideas about it. Section 2. Go T-shaped, then keep sprawling. You've probably heard of the T-shaped learner. Go deep in one core skill, but have a broad, shallow knowledge of others. It's a good idea, but Musashi's model looked less like a T and more like a full-blown spider web. He achieved unparalleled mastery with the dual blades, but he didn't stop there. He became an accomplished ink painter, a calligrapher, a sculptor, and he even consulted on urban planning and garden design. He understood that skills talk to each other. Each new discipline he picked up whispered new secrets about universal principles, space, rhythm, timing, and the nature of materials. His study of calligraphy improved the fluidity and grace of his sword strokes. His landscape painting taught him perspective and strategy, how to see the whole battlefield at a glance. It was compound interest, but for skills. Each new discipline didn't just add to his knowledge, it multiplied the value of everything else he already knew. So, let's try it. Pick your core obsession. Let's say it's photography. For 1 month, shoplift a micro skill from a galaxy far, far away. Study the timing of stand-up comedians, how they build tension and release it. That will teach you how to click the shutter at the punchline moment of any scene. If you're a coder, take a pottery class for a weekend. The unforgiving nature of clay will teach you a kind of tactile, patient debugging that your IDE never could. Don't just build a T, weave a web. Section 3. Mushin, quiet the noise, crank the resolution. There's a concept central to Zen in martial arts called Mushin, which translates to no mind. It sounds a bit woo-woo, I know, but it's actually a brutally practical state of high-performance focus. Think of it as clearing your mental RAM. Our brains are constantly running an inner monologue, judging, worrying, planning. Mushin is the act of shutting that narrator up so you can actually perceive what's right in front of you. When the inner monologue goes quiet, your perception jumps from 480p to pristine 4K. Musashi would reportedly achieve the state by staring at a single leaf until the rest of the world blurred into a meaningless background. After 10 minutes, his mind will be so still he could read an opponent's eyebrow twitch like it was a headline tweet. Brain scans actually backed this up. When the brain's default mode network, the part responsible for self-referential thought, calms down, our sensory cortex lights up like a rave. We literally see, hear, and feel more. Here's a quick hack to try this. Before you sit down to practice, for just 2 minutes, do box breathing or simply focus on making your exhale twice as long as your inhale. Your racing thoughts will start to sink like grit in the jar of water. Then, immediately start your practice, whether it's scales on a piano or dribbling a basketball. The patterns will stick faster because your brain isn't trying to juggle your internal drama and new data at the same time. You're giving the information a clean, quiet place to land. Section 4. Audit the luck. Ignore the confetti. After a decisive win, most people would beeline for the victory banquet. Musashi, however, would skip the metaphorical barbecue. His post-duel ritual was a ruthless frame-by-frame mental replay where he asked one brutal question: where did luck bail me out? He understood a dangerous cognitive bias. Most people overrate their own talent after a success and underrate the role of pure chance. Musashi flipped that script entirely. He believed that relying on luck was the mark of an amateur. By actively identifying where a lucky gust of wind, a slip from his opponent, or a moment of random chance saved him, he could then go back and replace that luck with conscious skill. Spotting the influence of luck became its own trainable skill that he could rehearse and perfect. He was beta testing his strategy against reality and patching the bugs. Your turn. The next time you finish a project or a presentation that went well, don't just pop the champagne. Take 5 minutes, grab a notebook, and jot down 3 moments where you genuinely succeeded because of preparation and skill, and 3 moments where you just got lucky. The boss happened to be in a good mood, the one difficult question you dreaded didn't come up. Then, figure out how to turn that lucky break into a reliable strategy for next time. If you do this consistently, you'll compress decades of corporate or creative climbing into a couple of intense, productive years. Section 5. Ride the rhythm. Don't fight the song. In the Book of 5 Rings, Musashi wrote, "The way is in training, but the essence is in timing and rhythm." Have you ever crammed hundreds of vocabulary words for a new language, yet when you try to speak, you still sound like a badly programmed robot? It's because you learned the data, but you ignored the song. You ignored the rhythm. Musashi deeply understood that every skilled action has an underlying rhythm. He would practice his cuts while humming folk songs, syncing his footwork and blade work to an internal beat. This isn't just an artistic quirk, it's a neurological shortcut. Neurons that fire together, wire together. When you attach a new skill to a pre-existing rhythm, your brain encodes it more deeply and smoothly. Here's the takeaway. The next time you're in a Spanish practice session, don't just drill flashcards. Put on some salsa music. Try to roll your R's to a metronome set at 90 BPM. Your tongue and brain will start to memorize the dance, not just the isolated sound. Soon, joining a real conversation will feel less like a rigid exam and more like hopping into a river that's already flowing. You'll feel the cadence and join it naturally. Section 6. The 5-element loop. Musashi didn't just have a collection of tips, he had a holistic system. He packed his entire worldview into a strategic framework based on 5 books, or elements. We can turn this into a powerful weekly learning cycle. First is water. Musashi wrote that one should be adaptable like water, taking the shape of its container. So on Monday, be fluid. Tweak your learning method. If you've been using an app, try a textbook. If you've been practicing alone, find a partner. Adapt your approach. Next is fire. The spirit of fire is intense, aggressive, and direct. So, on Tuesday, attack. Start that scary project you've been procrastinating on. Make bold mistakes. Don't hesitate. Just move forward with force and learn from the heat. Wednesday is earth. Earth represents the solid, the known, and the stable. Guard your fundamentals. Focus on your routines. Get enough sleep. Eat well. Review the basics. This is your foundation. Don't neglect it. Thursday is wind. This book is about learning from others, studying different schools and mentors. So find a master to copy. Read their book, watch their videos, imitate their technique. But then, and this is the key Musashi twist, deliberately zig where they zag. Break one of their rules to make the knowledge your own. Finally, Friday is the void. This represents the unknowable, the place where pure intuition lives. After a week of hard data, sit quietly. Let your brain defrag. Go for a walk without headphones. The void is about trusting your gut after you've done the work. Often, your best insights will surface in this silence. Spin that 5-element wheel week after week, and you'll easily lap anyone stuck on a single-speed study plan. All right, quick favor. Down in the comments, drop the next skill you really want to turbocharge. It can be anything: speed reading, boxing, baking sourdough, you name it. I am going to answer every single comment with a custom Musashi-style tweak you can use right away. Let's turn that comment section into a free virtual dojo. And while you're down there, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss our next historical heist. Section 7, 14-day speed run. Theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. Here is a 14-day speed run to duct tape all these principles together and see a real result. Days 1 through 3, pick your one deep skill you want to improve. Today, record a baseline. Film yourself playing that guitar riff, record yourself speaking Spanish, or screen capture yourself trying to code a simple function. Don't judge it, just get the raw data. Days 4 through 6, begin every practice session with just 5 minutes of that Mushin-style breathing. Quiet the noise. Just focus on your breath.
Then dive straight into your reps with that clear mind. Days 7 through 9, time to build your spider web. Steal a microskill from a totally random universe. If you're learning to write, study how surgeons hold a scalpel. It'll teach you about precision and pressure. Spend 20 minutes a day on this and write down any insights, no matter how weird they seem. Days 10 through 12, end every single session with a 3-line luck auditing. Write it down. 1. Where did I get lucky? 2. Where did I succeed through pure skill? 3. What one thing can I change to replace luck with skill tomorrow? Days 13 and 14, it's performance time. Record yourself again, perform for a friend, a camera, anyone. Then watch your first video and your new video side by side. Pay close attention, not just to the improvements, but to the moments that feel smooth and effortless. That's the rhythm you've been building. Most people who try this see a tangible 25–40% jump in their skill acquisition inside 2 weeks. After that, the slope just gets steeper. Miyamoto Musashi's incredible learning velocity wasn't wizardry. It was a ruthlessly efficient, battle-tested system. Doubt your ego, cross-pollinate your skills, hush the internal noise, audit your luck, surf the underlying rhythm, and cycle through the 5 elemental strategies. 60 duels later, his sword was practically optional. His mind was the real weapon, and it stayed lethal until his final days. Your battles might be certification exams, crucial sales calls, or crossing the finish line of a marathon. The arena has changed, but the code remains the same. So walk into your next practice session expecting to be wrong. Stay curious as if you've paid 0 dues. And remember, the goal isn't to cosplay a 17th century samurai. It's to outlearn him, using all the advantages of Wi-Fi and good coffee. Now close this tab, pick just one trick from this video, and go test it before the kettle boils. The clock's running. Go keep your record clean.